Welcome to the Diva Life Show, where music meets fashion, culture meets travel, and we explore the stories of extraordinary artists and entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Diva Life Show, where music meets fashion, culture meets travel, and we explore the stories of extraordinary artists and entrepreneurs. I'm your host and resident diva, Heather Poduska. Today on the show, we welcome nurse, Air Force veteran, holistic healer, and cannabis expert, and the founder of Your Elevated Way, Denise Costello. Holistic healer Denise Costello, founder of Your Elevated Way, is pioneering a new approach to wellness for women as they age. As a leader in integrating holistic practices into healthcare, Denise is transforming how women over the age of 40 heal and live vibrantly through personalized coaching, plant medicine retreats, and wellness workshops. Denise's innovative techniques include blood flow restriction, strength training, plant-based medicine, anti-inflammatory nourishment, and mindfulness-based stress management. And I think we could all use some of that. Her career spans over 30 years with remarkable background as a former Air Force flight nurse, where she created wellness programs for soldiers on active duty during Desert Storm. Denise now helps women stop battling their bodies and start elevating their lives. Denise, welcome.
Hi, I love that ending, Yeah.
Well, I
love that.
Well, I was thinking about, because you have been in, at least close to combat situations. And, and I think that a lot of people, women and men, especially women, were like at odds with their bodies a lot of time and like battling a lot of things in life. And I love that this is the elevated way. And so tell us a little bit about what Your Elevated Way is and why you created it.
Yeah. Well, just you pointing out, women feel like they're battling their bodies, especially when we hit menopause, and it's not their fault. It is not their fault, but there are choices that they can make. There's things that they can do. And I feel that why I'm really, stepping in on this is because I don't like to see them suffer. And there are some techniques and things available that they just don't know about.
Yeah.
It's just not being talked about. And I've always been researching. I mean, I left the clinical practice very early in my career because I wanted to be on the other side of medicine and giving people the education and the tools to prevent illness, to stay out of the hospital. So this is just bringing that along, and giving them, the tools to do that in a very easy way. We're just shifting a little bit, elevating whatever situation you're in and thinking, well, how can I make this a little bit better?
I love that.
How can I move the needle a little bit better? Because we know it's those small, incremental, consistent things that we do that, makes the change. And so, that small, consistent thing, it's got to be impactful. It's got to be fun too.
Yes.
Right?
Well, otherwise we're not going to do it.
We're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm all about that.
I know you are. That's why you're here.
And wherever I can just okay, how do we make this a little bit better, a little more interesting, a little more health focused, a little more fun?
Yeah.
I
love that. So when you say it's not their fault, it's not our fault, what makes you say that it's not women's fault that they're battling their bodies? What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just part of nature. We lose our estrogen, our progesterone. And, for the last decade, and in fact, I was in that era when they pulled, hormone replacement away from us because of the scare about breast cancer, which we know was overblown. And we know that they've recanted, that. And so we were given a lot of the tools and not even listened to. They used to call it whiny women's disease.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I know. They were like,
wait. Menopause is a whiny women's disease?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, it's not a disease.
Right.
It's just part of life that happens to women. I mean, is it part of if you're blessed enough to live that long, it's not oh my God, that's horrible.
No, exactly. And that was from a physician. This is what the physicians, they had, you have a WWW.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And they were not taught anything about menopause, even OBGYNs.
Wow.
Only like 1/10 are even educated in this.
Wow.
So the great thing is now people are speaking up and there's information. But I feel like there's a few things that are left on the table.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. I want to go back for a second to the hormone replacement because, first of all, everybody should talk to your own doctor about what's doctor. We're not given specific medical advice here. But some people are there some people that cannot take it or still should not take hormone replacement?
Yeah. There are, and so if right now, if you have cancer, like breast cancer or anything that's, estrogen, affected, there's other things that they can do.
Yeah.
And the point is have that conversation. It's not for everybody, but they should be told. They should be given the choice of whether they want to do it or not. And that's what has not happened.
I see.
Nobody was talking to them about it, And so this is the shift. Like they at least deserve to hear the conversation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm still spinning from the WWW. I'm like,
I know.
Wow.
I know.
That is crazy.
We're changing the narrative.
Changing the narrative.
Totally. Jesus. And that's why I'm was infuriated, when I heard that. And just realizing what I went through myself,
Well, listen, for people who don't know you, I would just tell everybody that you are one of the most vibrant, energetic, fun, adventurous people that I know. So if people can have even a smidgen of what you have, they should want to know more about how you're maintaining that lifestyle for yourself. So what are some of the things that people, maybe women don't know, that are simple things they can do to be more vibrant as they age and avoid some of the common things? Like, what are some of the pitfalls that we've been told that happens when you age that we can avoid,
just like you're going to be moody and you're going to be stressed out.
Well,
and you're going to be,
sounds like life. Right?
I know. And you're going to be tired and you're going to gain the weight and you are going to have no muscle, like you are, it's just suck it up. You're done. You're just here to support us and this is just part of aging. That's always this is just part of aging. There's nothing you can do about it.
But you have lots of things that people can do about it. So what are some of the things that people don't know that women should know that are available to them?
Right. Well, number one, I think one of the things that's missed is meditation and grounding and connecting, to not only your own inner knowing, but to God and source or what have you, to manage that cortisol. And that has to do with first thing in the morning. So instead of grabbing the phone, which is where it's like going in, and going and realizing you have a purpose too. It's not, yes, honorable for a mother and taking care of children but our role, is we got to take care of ourselves because we are the hub. And this is why I'm so passionate about working with these women, because once they learn these tools, they can apply them to their kids, they can apply them to their elderly parents, but more importantly, they're able to keep their anxiety down and their management. So focusing on really managing their stress, in a mindful way, like with breath work or, so just putting your hand on your heart in the morning instead of grabbing your phone.
Actually, I think I've read, I'm on my mic, sorry.
Yes, and just taking a breath.
Yeah, and I've heard that lowers your cortisol to put your hand on your heart. Just doing this.
Just doing this, it actually stimulates. You want to hold it for at least 8 seconds.
Hold on. Okay, keep talking.
Keep talking, 8 seconds, because you're going to release oxytocin. So oxytocin is a neurotransmitter that is calming. It's like when we had with our babies breastfeeding. And so this is why you want to hold somebody in a hug for 8 seconds. All of this, so love on yourself. That's what I would tell women, love on yourself first. You look at yourself and you love on yourself first. And then, the other things that, have kept me going, is movement is critical. Our bodies were meant to move. And we know, as far as we decline with our human growth hormone, really starts to plummet at the age of 30. I mean, it starts declining
That's so
after
early.
20s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30, because, it's like, well, you're in a different zone. You needed it when you're young to build your muscles. And the other thing is, as that declines, is your bone, your bone density.
Yeah.
And so the way we combat that is, and we know that strength exercise is better than, like, they're doing the cardio for like knee, and that's raising your cortisol. When we get into this age, we need to really dial up the strength training.
Yeah.
And where I see the problem with that is like, who wants to spend hours in the gym? And it's not just the light weights. You've got to do high intensity in order to get that drop of the human growth hormone and the nitric oxide that women and people are paying a lot of money for their skin and everything else. You can naturally do this. And this has been kind of all along in my practice, is the belief that we have everything that we need.
So talk to us a little bit. I want to talk to you about the weight training, because I think that, I know that I went through that, like, if your bones are getting weaker, is it still safe to lift heavy weights?
That's a really good question.
So talk to us about that.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because this is the piece that I feel like every woman should know about, and everybody, is this blood flow restriction technique.
Okay, tell us about that.
And it was designed 40 years ago by a Japanese physician. It's been heavily studied, and they used it in recovery. When you couldn't lift, you wanted to build the muscle, but you were injured. And so what it is you're just slightly, you're putting these little bands on.
Okay.
And you are just squeezing the slowing down the blood flow a little bit, so the oxygen, the muscle doesn't get the oxygen as much. And you are in a sense creating that high intensity of lifting the heavy weights, because you want to get to the burn of the lactic acid is what triggers the human growth hormone.
Okay.
It triggers the nitric oxide. So this I love for so many reasons, not only for women, but our elderly. What puts them, think about your parents, that you were taking care of, or worrying about them falling, breaking their hip. The thing that puts them in a nursing home is the inability to move around and walk and get up and off of the toilet. You want them to have active. And here's the thing, women are living a lot longer. We're living past our men, 20 years plus, but in ill health.
Yeah. Who
wants to live their last 20 years of their life feeling weak and worried they're going to fall and break their hip and, be damaged? So I love this technique. I was introduced to it by my physical therapist when I had a knee replacement. And I wasn't looking forward to the hours in the gym that I had to do.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, game. I'll try that. Oh my gosh, my body is entirely changed.
Wow.
You lose your belly fat. That happens,
So I don't know if this would fit around my belly.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a bigger one.
Yeah. So you wear them around your legs or your arms. You can wear them when you're walking. Everybody's got, a lot of people have a dog. And so it's a very practical. I'm all about practicality.
Yeah.
And believe me, I love short bursts, where you get that pop. It gives you, you have mental clarity and all these different things. And so I feel like this is a missing link, because all of these menopause doctors now, Dr. Mary Claire and all these, which I love, they're saying, get in the gym and work out. Well, there's still the barrier.
Yeah.
And this is a very simple, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
Here's my gym. Throw it in my backpack. Boom, I'm done.
That's
and
great.
It's like 10 minutes.
Wow.
It's all you need when you have that. The high intensity is that it, you only need 10 minutes of that.
I didn't even think about the travel piece of it. That's because I've been traveling a lot more lately too. And I'm like, oh gosh, if I could just, boost my walk even with some of that.
You're walking around Paris, you're walking around
I like
wherever
the way
you
you
want.
say it. I like the way you say it.
Right?
That's awesome.
And you just put that on, and you're not missing everything around you. You still get to be in wherever you're at. Athletes use it. We have our Olympic teams were using them. So it's like, it's well known, but it always revolved in the athletic and the physical therapy world. Now we're bringing it to the real, like, everyday person, because, everybody with all the insulin and the diabetes issue, this is the best form of getting that blood sugar out of your muscles and, being utilized so to decrease insulin resistance.
Wow.
So that's the other reason I'm so adamant about this and excited about informing people is everybody on Ozempic and all these other things is that here is a natural method that is able to, utilize that blood sugar.
Yep.
And also you burn your fat for 2 to 3 hours after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. I know.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you were talking about was the falling and for elderly people. And I have elderly parents and they're both doing well. But I was having a conversation with some of the people that were living where one of my parents was living. And I said, do you like living here? And both of them said, yes, it's very nice. We like it. How long have you been here? They told me, and they said, both of them were there because they fell. And they wished that they had had more time to transition, to make the decision, like, yes, I want to move out of my house. Now I think it's time for me to go into a more assisted situation. But they didn't have that luxury. It was like, boom, they fell, and then they were there.
Right.
So that really speaks to me because I'm in a situation where I want my parents to be as mobile as possible for as long as possible.
Exactly. And mental.
Right.
This adds more oxygenated blood to the brain.
Yeah.
So the two things are dementia and inability, lack of mobility. Those are the two things that bring them in there. And this is a really great solution, and it gives them, some autonomy and feeling like it gives you a chance to take care of your health yourself.
Yes.
This is what I'm also very adamant about is like we use our ability to take charge. And putting it in our hands, unless you have an acute situation where the doctor needs to intervene, but there's so much that we can do. Yeah.
So I know one of your core values, I'm assuming, is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, no-brainer, right? So, but it's also part of, like, you're talking about mindset and your thoughts and all of those things. What are everybody does fun their own way, right? We all experience fun in a different way, but what are some easy ways that someone can turn up the volume on the fun in their life to create that, the endorphins and that good feeling? Right.
Music, number one.
Yeah,
I tell you that, right? I mean, turning on music, really, it brings you, it elevates your mood, it brings you back. But also, when I talk about fun, I'm thinking about surrendering and letting go and not trying to control your outcome.
Oh, okay.
So just allowing, say, I'm just going to have fun with this.
Well, that is such a great phrase.
I am just going to have fun with this. I am not going to overthink it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay.
Wow.
And let's play with it. Let's just see what happens. Because think about it. When you go out to play, you're not like, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm jumping up high and doing all this so I feel good. No, you just do it.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to Dr. Margaret Beckham.
Martha Beck?
Martha Beck.
Okay.
Yes, love her.
Yeah.
She was talking about how with anxiety, creativity, first of all, anxiety stops creativity. And creativity puts you into that mode of transformation and creativity squelches anxiety. So the more we can just be creative and this is why I love this whole concept of the elevated way, because it's getting you into asking that question. Well, what else is possible here? How can I make this a little more fun?
Yeah.
How can I make this a little more easy?
Wow.
I remember when I was a young mother and I was really focused on nutrition at that point, because, I was so, heard a terrible statistic by the time they were going to be 18, 1 in 4 would have cancer. And I was coming from the cancer world. So I was like, what? I got to figure this out. And so I really did a deep dive in integrative medicine, and food is your first form of medicine, right?
Right.
And so I was like trying to be the good mother and making everything just right. And they loved waffles, frozen waffles.
Yeah.
And
most kids like waffles.
They all do,
Yeah.
So I got the blueberry ones, and then I tried the really high fiber one. Nope, they wanted the Eggo ones. I'm like, oh God, it's like, what can I do to make this better?
Yeah.
Like, how can I elevate it a little bit more? Well, I knew if I put protein with the waffle, that's going to help to keep the blood sugar from spiking. That was my main concern, the blood sugar and all that. So I put peanut butter on, and I put real maple syrup, which is expensive, when you're a new young family, but I put it in like one of those ketchup squeeze bottles. So they only a little bit drizzled out, and they could drizzle it on there. Yeah. To this day, that's the way they eat their waffles.
Oh, that's so cute.
But that was an example of how you can take something that doesn't seem right, and you can make it a little bit better.
I love that. And I love that about you and what people, I read this in your bio, but I don't think that the audience knows yet what a total badass you are. I mean, you're so fun, and you have this medical knowledge, this health knowledge, but you are also a very brave, powerful woman. And I want to tap into something that you did to make it more fun for you and for other people when you were serving in the military.
Oh yeah.
And you're so brave. And tell us the story of how you did that. You did a version of that for the soldiers in the desert.
Yeah.
That they were not having fun.
No.
And tell us about what you did to make that experience better.
That was funny. So, at that time I was a reserve flight nurse, right? Okay. And so reservists, and this is back in the 90s or so, they're medical people. They're working in hospitals. A lot of them were overweight, not very fit. And here we are, when we first were in Riyadh, dropped off into the war, and you're just like the scud muscle, it was scary, and you're just waiting, and you're just like, where are they gonna ship us to next, and this and that.
So you're in Iraq? You're in Iraq. The Scud missiles are flying.
Yeah, flying around, and we're like, waiting. There's some waiting game before you know what's going to happen next. And I'm looking around. I'm like, these guys, they're all so out of shape. I'm like, I'm worried about them. Yeah. I'm worried about them. And at the time, I was getting my master's in exercise physiology, because this is where I wanted to make this shift. Yep. Corporate wellness. So part of the thing was learning how to run an exercise class and yoga. And so we had our little Walkmans, and I was like, okay, everybody, we're gonna do a little dance. We're gonna do a workout, to music, and get them moving. And here we're in our clumpy boots, and
you're in the desert with your combat boots.
With the combat boots, like, come on, let's go, come on, people, God. Let's get this going. And it was great, everybody did it, but there was like this dead time. What else are you gonna do?
Well, only you. I mean, you get the jams on in the desert with the missiles flying over, because you have a mission of being focused on health. It's so incredible. Yeah, so what would you say to someone who, is facing a challenge, an entrepreneur in their business, a health challenge, a relationship challenge, and they need to step up? They need to break through whatever it is that they are facing to get to the other side, and they're scared. What would you say to them? Because you're always on the forefront, the cutting edge of health, but you're also doing things. You're you're learning new things, and obviously you're very brave. You're in the desert in the wartime. Yeah. What would you say to someone who needs that ounce of courage inside of them to do the thing?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, again, put your hand on your heart and just say, you're okay, you're safe. Like, you got this. Okay. You really do.
Do that again.
You have this. You can dig in and do this. And there's something in you that lights you up. Go towards that. Go towards that first. Like, start small and don't give up. And surround yourself with other people. Yeah. To me, I think that is key. I'm a people, I realized through COVID, I was like, I need people. in a big way.
Yeah.
I went, woo, I
Yeah.
was not very happy then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I needed people.
Yeah,
you
we all
know,
need
and that,
people.
and you need people.
The right
so
people.
The right people, absolutely. No, this is part of, you know, my second pillar is about protection.
Mm-hmm.
The first pillar is prayer, you know, grounding, and second one is protection of what you think,
Mm-hmm.
what you eat, and how you move. So what you think and who you surround yourself, like you don't want toxic talk. You need to go towards the light, go towards the things that light you up, you know, and just keep believing, you know, just keep knowing you're okay. Don't self-criticize.
Mm-hmm. Just
keep moving forward
Yeah.
and take action. Don't wait for that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
That comes after.
Yeah.
So
then what is it?
Act first, you know, and then the motivation and you know, just keep doing it regardless of whether you feel like it or not, because you'll feel like it later.
Yeah. I think the people part is so important. I always say, like, you know, you could be the most beautiful palm tree, but if someone plants you in Siberia, good luck.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like you have to have that environment that supports you.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you two more questions. One is, you are such a diva, and it's the Diva Life show. So who do you think, is there someone that you can think of that you think is aging really well? Like you're like, ooh, that person is like a great example, a great diva that's aging well and doing it right. Besides you.
No, I don't know. You know, it's so funny because I see different pictures of women, you know, that look beautiful, and Michelle Obama, I would say.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
I would say Michelle Obama, very poised, graceful, strong, you know, not trendy, you know, just a sticking with her purpose, you know, and her own essence.
Yeah.
I feel like she always held her own essence.
Yeah, that's such a great example. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since it is the Diva Life show, I want people to embrace the word diva in a positive way. So when you hear the word diva, what does that mean to you?
Well, sometimes it makes me feel like diva can be, they're very strong, you know, they're very strong, and they know what they want. They know what they want, and they're beautiful. They have no problem being glamorous, and because they don't care what other people think.
Bingo.
They don't care about what anybody else thinks. I kind of like let them think about what they want, because I'm okay. I love myself. Not like I think I'm better than you, but I know my purpose. And if I want to wear nice, fun clothing and look glamorous and have fun with that, so be it. And you know what? When I do that, I'm going to have beautiful energy, and people are going to be attracted to that. And if they aren't, that's okay. That's them.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you are the best kind of diva. You have obviously a clear, meaningful purpose, and you're helping so many people. And you have that. I mean, I think about you often. You know, what? Not WWW, but WWD. What would Denise do?
What else? Yeah, or what else is possible?
What would Denise do? You know, like, okay, I'm going to remember to put that.
I like that.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm so happy that you came on the show. And you know, that's right. How can we make this even more fun? I don't know, because this was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Heather. This is great.
And thank you to all of you as well for joining us. And as always, until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye.